world title in everyone's imagination. That's the heavyweight champ. You were here. Everyone else was here. But since then, the feeling has been Joshua makes all this money fighting anyway, 30 million pounds, whatever it is. Why should he take 40 or 50 to fight Wilder when he's making against anybody? He can make 30, 40 million pounds, whatever it is.
No fantasy contracts, just reality. You know, bringing our worth to the table and bargaining and negotiating what we're worth and making this fight happen.
Which mentality do you come in with? I ask because when you were slick, to me that looked like a better fighter. But maybe this is the kind of fight where you just need to impose your strength.
Joshua's calm confidence was on full display as he sat down with Max Kellerman before his big fight against Jake Paul, a matchup that has surprised boxing fans and casual viewers alike. In the interview, Joshua didn't just talk about game plans. He opened up about the pressure, the expectations, and the unusual spotlight surrounding this fight. With Kellerman pressing for deeper answers, Joshua addressed the critics, the stakes, and why he chose to face one of the sport's most talked about personalities.
Or a heavyweight champion, you're an undefeated Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist, you're entering your physical prime, and you put 100,000 people in Wembley. So I get your argument. I have the economic clout. He's not coming in as partners. I should get a bigger slice of the pie. Let's have a realistic negotiation.
Kellerman, known for mixing technical analysis with dramatic flair, got straight to the point. He said this is one of the strangest heavyweight matchups ever. Joshua is a former world champion, while Jake Paul started as an internet entertainer. So why is this fight even happening? It's the question millions have been asking since the announcement. Joshua's answer set the tone for everything that followed.
Jake Paul, does he remind you of any guy that you fought before? Or is this a unique situation that you've never come across?
Very unique situation I've never come across, but treating with the same respect that I give all my competition.
So you got the mental fortitude, he's got the mental fortitude. But what's the one best thing that you pride Jake Paul of having that maybe you haven't seen in other competition you faced so far?
From a physical aspect, I couldn't even mention it at the minute. But from a mental aspect, he offered me the fight. Normally, I'm offering people fights. He's told me, come and fight. So he believes in himself.
What does the word legacy mean to you, AJ?
Legacy, what does it mean? This is why I was actually asking someone, what does legacy mean? I don't even know.
Kellerman asked what he respects most about Jake Paul. Joshua gave a calm but meaningful reply: he's bringing new eyes to boxing. Joshua said that even though Jake has no amateur background, he isn't afraid to dive into the deep end and put himself under pressure. Joshua admires Jake's enthusiasm and willingness to take on tough challenges, which he believes helps grow the sport and brings boxing to a wider audience.
Versus AJ, as though Jake Paul is the bigger in this equation. Not for me. Maybe for MVP, Nikisa, Jake Paul, but not for me. I've kind of marked it or titled it David versus Goliath just because of the size difference. Like, Jake Paul's a big guy. He is. He's 6'1", 220, probably fights around, the 200-pound mark. AJ is an enormous guy. Like, he's a big, big unit. And I think Jake realized that when they came face to face. I don't know if that's the first time they've ever come that close. I'm sure they've met behind the scenes. But I think there was a realization from Jake Paul, like, fuck, this is a big dude. It's a very, very big dude who isn't coming to play. Like, there was no play with AJ. That was a press conference that almost sounded like AJ versus someone in the top 10, where AJ's taking it seriously. He's answering the questions direct that Ariel's throwing him. There was no, yeah, we're here to kind of fuck around. This is going to be easy. Give me my money. Let me run back to the UK. This was AJ's like, no, we're taking this seriously. And that ain't a good thing for Jake Paul. It isn't. And AJ is that guy anyway. Like, I would never doubt that AJ would take this seriously. But for Jake Paul, I do wonder if realization is kicking in, or maybe he is just that delusional where he doesn't care. I do, and I've been sort of corrected by a few people who maybe know better, but I do think the Americans don't credit or rate AJ. I do think there's a bit of that. I remember when AJ did the rounds prior to the Ruiz fight, and there were a few people like, yeah, you're not that good. This was...
The size difference between Joshua and Jake Paul has become a major topic, and for good reason. Jake has always been strong in his own weight classes, but standing next to Anthony Joshua creates a true David versus Goliath image. Joshua doesn't just stand taller, his heavyweight frame shows years of strength training and conditioning. Even though Jake has added muscle, he still can't match the natural size, reach, and presence of a heavyweight used to battling giants.
Will there be a limit for Joshua?
So there's a lot of discussion around the weight. Joshua fought Usyk twice. Both of those times, Usyk was 221 pounds. Joshua was 240 to 245. When Jake fought Mike Tyson last year, 227 pounds. I expect Jake will come in anywhere between 225 and 230, and Anthony Joshua has a weight limit of 245 pounds.
There will be those, as you're aware, that will look at it and criticise this fight. There already have been, haven't there? They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou, who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony?
Alexander Usyk has made his opinion very clear. He sees the fight as completely one-sided. He compared Joshua to a Rolls-Royce and Jake Paul to a Fiat, saying the difference in skill, experience, and physical ability is simply too big to ignore. Usyk believes Jake is putting himself in real danger by stepping into the ring with a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua.
Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. Yeah. First. Jake Paul is, sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls-Royce, Fiat. Listen, it's true. I'm not by any advice.
Oh my god. I have nothing better in mind.
Yeah. It's just true. It's business, more money. Only this.
So we need to pray for Jake Paul.
Yes. I will pray Jake Paul because I want fight with Jake Paul in octagon.
Yeah.
Do you think that Joshua should be fighting Tyson Fury next year?
I want this fight. Yeah, I fan.
Olympic boxer Tony Jeff offered a different perspective on why Jake Paul shouldn't be underestimated. He said Jake has access to every resource a fighter could want: elite trainers, top-level conditioning coaches, sports psychologists, nutritionists, and the best sparring partners. Because Jake has the money, he can build a perfect training camp with no shortcuts. Jeff also pointed out that Jake is younger, which is a huge advantage in boxing. Younger fighters recover faster, train harder, and usually come into a fight fresher and stronger.